Hello, and welcome back to another ship review. Today, I am reviewing the Missouri. This is a new ship for me. I got it as part of the In the Name of Tomorrow event, so I'm not one of the YouTubers that's had this ship for many years. But this is maybe, I don't know, my fourth, fifth match with this ship. I don't even have it upgraded all the way. I don't even have a 21-point captain on it yet, but I wanted to go ahead and kind of show it to you and maybe give a little bit unique of a perspective compared to the other YouTubers. The Missouri is effectively an Iowa-class battleship, so copy and paste everything about the Iowa, except subtract just a tiny bit of accuracy from it and give it a radar instead of the spotter plane. And that is the Missouri in a nutshell. Just like the Iowas, it's got the 3 triple gun 406mm turrets arranged in ABX turret layout. The armor on this is 32mm plating of armor all throughout. Its citadel is kind of at waterline, give or take. Its secondary guns are okay. Wouldn't necessarily recommend building too much into. I actually have kind of a little bit of a partial secondary build going here, but I'm messing around with some different builds on it. We'll kind of look at my build at the end of the video, but speed-wise, I think you can get it up to like 32.5 knots or 33.5 knots, going full speed ahead. That's without running brisk. Its AA is okay, as good as typical AA in this game, so you might shoot down one plane before you get absolutely demolished by the airstrike. And its concealment, if you get it all the way down, I think it's down to like 12.1 or 12.2 kilometers, so pretty decent. Yeah, so that's kind of the Missouri for you. The radar on it is a 9.5 kilometer radar. I think at base it runs for like 33 seconds, I want to say. I think if you build into it, you can get it out to like 41.5 seconds. Getting a shot off on this DD, and as you can see, it's not, especially at kind of mid-range, it's decently accurate enough. We were able to land, 6 hits on that DD out of our 9 shells that we shot, so that's pretty good. That wasn't even a perfect shot either, so here's a little preview of the AA. Like I said, shoot down 1-2 planes and then get airdropped. But yeah, kind of with this ship, the radar can kind of get you to play far more aggressive than you really should. You want to be a little careful with this. If you are really getting any use out of the radar within the first half of the match, then you're probably playing a little too aggressively, or a DD is pushing up a little too aggressively towards you. But realistically, especially in randoms, you're probably not going to get much use out of this radar until later in the match, when maybe you catch a DD like wasn't expecting you from behind an island, or you kind of roll out and it tries to smoke to flee. Then you can pop the radar. It is kind of funny because, especially newer, inexperienced destroyer players don't necessarily know that the Missouri has a radar on it. The vast majority of the longtime players understand that, but you definitely will catch some destroyers that just have no clue and seem extremely surprised when you start radaring them. So, yeah, you want to play kind of farther back. In ranked, this is a different story. In ranked matches, I have not tried it out yet. However, I went up against quite a few Missouris, and that radar can come in pretty handy, because in ranked you can kind of afford to push forward a little more aggressively since you don't attract fire from quite as many enemy ships. So definitely I've seen some people do some wild plays with the Missouri in ranked, but getting some shots off on the North Carolina here. Honestly, I was really surprised here that we weren't getting any citadels. I don't think it has, I wasn't making perfect shots, but I don't think it has to do with the dispersion or my aiming. I don't know. I kind of thought that North Carolina's just exploded at this angle, but maybe he's just barely angled enough that we're not getting citadels on him. But I was just so surprised. We were getting full pens, but no citadels through there. So we are just pushing up a little bit here, being careful of that Shimakaze, so I'm juking my throttle a little bit. I don't want him to torp me for sure. I do radar him just to keep him spotted, so like I said, I'm probably pushing up too aggressively here. I'm guilty of my own advice, but it did end up helping out. We were able to keep him spotted for our team with that radar, and then we helped bag the kill on him, so definitely that radar can come in clutch once in a while. I've had a couple of other matches like that where a DD kind of pushed up a little too close to us, and we were able to get them radared and help kill them. So, doing pretty well so far. Only, 6 minutes into this match, we're up to almost 50,000 and got 1 kill. So, we are taking quite a bit of fire now from a few different enemy ships, so we're just going to kind of back up a bit. The heals on this are okay. You don't get the improved, quick, rapid cooldown heals that the mainline American ships get, but they are pretty quick either way, and they heal a decent amount of damage back. So I don't currently have the captain skill on that gives you the 5th heal and the extra 10% heal time. I do think that would help the ship quite a bit, but perhaps I should have taken that first over the concealment mod. But anyways, so this is what we've got going on so far. I'm just trying to dodge some of these HE shells. Definitely you're at risk of getting burned down in the Missouri. So trying to get some shots off on this Kearsarge over here, who's pretty flat broadside to us. This is kind of a longer-ish range shot, so we'll be able to kind of see some of the longer range dispersion. And we land 6 out of those 9 shells, so not terrible. No citadels on him, which is unfortunate, but yeah, with this Iowa hull, you can definitely kind of throttle you just barely enough at this range that you can throw off most of an enemy's shots, which is really nice. Popping that heal again. Man, I just really wanted to smash that Kearsarge since he was making 0 effort to angle to us, but it just isn't going to work for us. Pushing up a little aggressively here. We do have a pretty good team presence on this flank, so I feel comfortable playing a little aggressively here. The enemy does have a decent little presence as well to meet us, so we're kind of decently evenly matched on this flank, but we'll nevertheless try to push forward and support our team a little bit. Definitely not, intentionally pushing up to use that radar. Like I said, you really shouldn't try to push up or position your ship necessarily to get use out of the radar. It's more of like a situational radar where you kind of, by accident or chance, run into a situation that you can get some use out of the radar. A lot of people kind of play on the point that this isn't really worth getting because it's kind of just a worse Iowa. I definitely don't know if I quite agree with that. Really, I think it's pretty on par with the Iowa. You can see our secondary guns are getting out. I do, just on that 3rd module slot, I do have the secondary build that gives you 20% better secondary gun accuracy and 20% better secondary range. So I mostly am running that just to, in case I do radar a DD that's close to me and my main guns are on cooldown, maybe I can get a little bit of damage in on them. But like I said, I'm playing around with some builds. That was a really lucky little dev strike for us there. But anyways, that brought us out to 2 kills and 109,000 damage. Quick little match. Definitely kind of a little bit of a smash on our part. We kind of smashed through the enemy team. Didn't have too many losses on our side. But as you can see, I am running blue boosters here, but that tier 9 premium economy, we get 1.4 million credits just from one mediocre battle. So definitely can make some serious cash with this ship. I know that a lot of people talk about that this Missouri is not like the old Missouri that was given out back in the day that has the super premium package on it. And this just has the standard tier 9 premium package, but any tier 9 premium package is kind of the way to go to earn credits. So, you might not be getting the 2, 3, or even 4 million credits that some of the players at the old Missouri can farm, but you can definitely, pull off some pretty easy 1 to 2 million credit games with this ship. So, yeah, very decent ship in my opinion. The other important factor to consider is that there really aren't too many battleships in the game that offer that kind of radar playstyle. There's like the Missouri at tier 9, there's the Constellation at tier 8, which will be going away in the 14.9 update coming up in a couple months. So not a whole much longer to get that ship before it leaves the armory for a little while. So maybe consider picking that up. But so there's the Constellation at tier 8. And then there's the Borodino, which I don't think is currently available to purchase anywhere. And I think those 3 are pretty much it, as far as I know off the top of my head. This is that armor plating that I was talking about. Oh, I guess you do have kind of 38 mil armor there in the middle. So that's a nice little tiny step up from 32, but nothing too special. Definitely very thin Citadel armor on the top if you're getting dropped by bombs or something like that. But otherwise, Citadel is decently well protected. You can definitely, by angling properly, avoid taking most Citadel hits. So decent hull and armor. 78,000 hit points at base. Got like I said, the 406 millimeter guns. 13,500 damage on that AP. At max. Secondary guns, like I said, nothing special. I do have a partial build, so they normally won't go out to that 8.3 kilometer range. Normally it goes to like 7 point something. 7.2, I think. AA guns. Okay, there's not many ships in this game that you can necessarily say have good AA. Especially not without the DFFA skill. But concealment, 12.7, so very, very good on that. Feels nice to play. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't even have the ship all the way upgraded yet, just because I've been short on credits. I've been spending them on so many ships recently. But yeah, I've got that little secondary build going. The other one that I'm trying out is the artillery plotting room, to kind of, not really to push out my main battery guns farther, because I don't necessarily recommend that you shoot farther than the base max range anyways, but by pushing out the range farther, you do improve the vertical dispersion, especially at closer ranges. So I am trying that out right now. Haven't gotten too many matches with that build yet, but theoretically that would improve the accuracy just a tiny, tiny bit. Captain build, this is my Montana Captain, which I haven't leveled up all the way yet, but yeah, definitely would recommend that you take that survivability expert, I think it is. And basics of survival. Probably running on this ship, the reload booster is maybe not the best option. Honestly, for this ship, you probably want to run the consumable specialist so that you can get those radars quicker. But either way, so that's the Missouri for you. It's up to you if you feel like picking it up. It is at a decent price right now. It's kind of at a standard tier 9 price, so especially with getting so many free doubloons currently, I definitely consider picking it up if you're at all interested, especially since this ship probably won't be available for quite a while again. But anyways, I picked it up, and so far I've enjoyed all the matches I've had with it. Haven't really had any bad matches in it, so anyways, hope you guys enjoy. Catch you next time.